Hello fellow YouTubers, welcome to YouTube Gaming Community episode number 220. Hope everybody had an awesome Father's Day weekend. I sure did. I got this little Godzilla, makes noises, and he's got that light. That's supposed to be his atomic breath, because that thing is blinding, by the way. Anyway, enough of that. So, this week I thought we'd be positive in this episode, not talking about a controversy thing in the community or anything. This week I think E3 to me is the ultimate week to be a gamer, because there's always surprises. There's always the anticipation of E3 coming up. What could be announced, what couldn't be announced. Man, what are you hoping comes back that's been gone, or what's the next game in the series has been, you know, all kinds of different things every year at E3 that make it a very exciting week to me to be a gamer. And so I thought we would do something different this time. Now obviously, you know, this year for E3, gamers got a lot of series they were looking for to come back. Obviously, The Last Garden was found out that it's still around, it's still alive for the people who wanted that. Obviously, Rare's 30-game collection was awesome. If you're a Rare, old school Rare fan, and you have an Xbox One, that's cool to have. But of course, the two things that dominated the news is, of course, Shenmue 3, which is really exciting because someday maybe you'll get the whole 11 part of that series. Because I saw the creator said that he would like to finish the whole 11-part series someday. Definitely, I love Shenmue 1. Was excited for Shenmue 3. Was excited all the people supported on Kickstarter. That was really cool. But the real exciting game for me, and I didn't think I'd be that excited for it as it was of course Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, despite all the RPGs I have on the system, and despite all the great games, when I think of PlayStation 1, I always think of Final Fantasy VII. The only way I can equate graphically how much of a jump this game was on that system would be Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo, because that game was light years ahead of everything. This game was such a dramatic jump in graphics. It was mind-blowing when you played it at the time. Great story too, obviously. Now, is this my favorite Final Fantasy? No, it's not. Actually, Final Fantasy 3 on the Super Nintendo, which is actually 6, is my favorite Final Fantasy of all time. Then 9, and this one ranks up there by any stretch. But this game means so much to a lot of people because it was the first RPG they ever played. And this game, historically, caused RPGs to be in the mainstream through the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era. And during that era, I played mainly RPGs. I love RPGs. They're great. So I was surprised how much the announcement of this game really got to me. And after watching all the announcements on YouTube, all the people's reactions. Now, the two videos and the reactions I do want you to check out. Uzumaki Khan, his reaction to the announcement is awesome. It is a pure fan, pure excitement, pure, no way fake any way. You clearly see his love and of Final Fantasy, and as the announcement, the trailer shows in the announcement, how more excited he gets and everything. It's an awesome video to check out. And the other one is from Cypher Gaming, which GT Live's video is on other channels, but this one actually has the Sony conference audio in the background, because some don't have the conference audio for this. But GT Live's reaction to Final Fantasy VII Remake and Shenmue was awesome to see. Also, those two videos, definitely go check them out. It's funny because when you talk about Final Fantasy VII, I've never gotten rid of my copy of 7, 8, or 9, or Tactics. I've had them since we originally bought them. And when I got 7, I got the strategy guide many years ago. What's cool about this guide, it's the ultimate guide. There are other strategy guides, obviously, in the game. But this picture inside, that awesome artwork picture right there, there's an actual full-size poster of that. Actually, in the back, which I've never actually opened up. It's a real full-size poster. Someday that'd be a cool thing to frame. But anyway, enough about my stuff. So, with this stuff, it made me think, this week, let's have some fun. Let's not react to some controversy, some drama, or whatever's going on in the community. This week, how about we talk about renewed hope for what series you would hope gets a remake and made again today. Now, I want to completely discount anything from the 360 or PS3 era, because to me, personally, I don't like remakes from last generation to this generation. To me, I want games that are longer. Games that have been dormant for a while, because to me, those kind of last gen remakes don't excite me, but this really excited me. So I was sitting there thinking, and because PlayStation 1, obviously, I played a lot of great RPGs. It'd be cool to make HD remakes of games like Capcom could make Breath of Fire, since they seem to not make a new one. The last Breath of Fire on the PlayStation 2 really wasn't a Breath of Fire game, but it had the title on it. A game that Sony could revive, that is an awesome game, that never got a sequel, that is an awesome RPG, is Legend of Dragoon. This is an awesome game. I would love to see an HD remake of this game. It'd be awesome. And of course, another RPG series I love that I think, since Konami doesn't know what to do with it anymore, they stopped after, what is it? Well, they did 6, and then they did Tactics on the PlayStation 2, and then they did, obviously, Shikoden on the DS, and that'd be Shikoden. Can you imagine a remake of that game? But what game do you love that's like older than last generation that you would love to see remade, that would get you really excited today, that you would love to see? Obviously, I could add an F-Zero in there, but I'd like to see a new F-Zero, not a remake. Real quickly on the talking about E3, just to wrap it all up quickly, is if Nintendo made one mistake to me at E3, and to me it was well meant, they wanted to make the World Championships mean something. But can you imagine how much different we'd see E3 and Nintendo if they had saved the Earthbound Beginning announcement till the end of their E3 presentation? How differently would we think of E3? We probably would have categorized this as the biggest E3 of all time, and this one certainly ranks up in one of the tops of all time for me after all the announcements. But I'd love to hear guys' responses. What do your comments down below? What games would you love to see remake in HD after the Final Fantasy VII, remake announcement? So, let's get to my favorite section, which of course has its own intro, and hit that intro.
Channels to check out. What? You don't like new stuff?
So guys, back again, and this time we have 5 channels to check out this week, and the first one is from RetroSpecter, and he has some interesting things. So on this channel, he has a lot of remixes of video game music, like since they announced like Lucas going to be in Smash Brothers, he like mixed Earthbound and Smash Brothers music together. A lot of cool video game mixes on his channel. There are also some Let's Plays on it if you're interested in that, but definitely the remixes are really awesome if you like remixed versions of video game music. Our next one is Jradgex, and he does a lot of different things on his channel. He has the Dot Can videos, which is like a podcast format with 3 other people. So if you like the podcast, he does reviews. One of the coolest series he did on his channel was a Phoenix Wright series for Quest for Justice, where he actually lives the video game. So his skits, or everyone call them little comedy, is him basically reliving the scenes of the actual video game, which is really cool. The next one is That YT Show, which is a collab from people we already know in the community, like Wood from Beat 'em Ups, or of course Meeting Flipper, or his channel now After Media. It's a collab channel where basically, like for example, Wood does a series on there called Kickstarted, which he talks about certain Kickstarters that seem cool. And then After Media, of course, he talks about movie news. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, definitely go check that channel out, or a fan of either one of the guys. The next one is GameTap, and this guy his channel hasn't been around very long, so there isn't too many videos on it. But for example, he has a 2-part Sega Saturn collection. If you love the Saturn, he has pickups. He has an unboxing of a retro game box. He has reviews, and the last thing I saw on his channel was a Shenmue gameplay. So definitely go support it and check out his channel. And the last one is CraigsHereAgain. Now this channel is completely dedicated to arcade games mainly. So arcade game pickups, stuff related to arcade games. Like the last arcade game he picked up is Time Scanner, which was a Sega Atari made arcade game. That's right, Sega and Atari together. So if you love the arcade games, definitely go check out his channel. So those are the pickups. Those are the channels to check out. I don't know why I want to say pickups so badly. Anyway, channels to check out this week. So let's get back to videos to check out. And our next video is from SegaCDUniverse called, Do You Find the YouTube Community to Be Friendly? I think our community is seen in 2 different things at times. For the people, like anybody I've ever sent a message to, commented to, any kind of contact with, has always been really cool in the community. And I know he makes a point that anybody he's really had contact or met are really cool people. But on the outside looking in, when people rant about stuff and the drama, the constant infighting that happens in the community, from the outside, it doesn't always look very friendly. Obviously, being fans of games, we tend to get really upset one way or another when a game isn't what we expect it to be. Sometimes that's unrealistic, because if you want a series to continue in modern times, it has to change with the times. It can't stay the same, because if it does, it's going to probably die off. But as gamers, we're passionate about our games, but sometimes we take it too far. And from the outside, people perceive us, as wanting our own stuff, entitled, obviously a lot of infighting drama, stuff like that. From the outside, was actually I contact most people in the community. Everybody I've ever contacted in the community is really cool, really friendly. So the next video I'm going to talk about is Jimmy Hapa's Import Gaming FTW, IGFTW, big announcement, the end of Import Gaming FTW. So, this was a rather interesting video, because by the title, you would think this is the end of his channel, or something going on where he's not going to be doing something anymore. But if you actually watch the channel, it's one of those kind of funny, you go to watch it and find out it's kind of different kind of things, where he's not actually ending the channel, he's actually moving. And moving as into Japan. And if you like import games, definitely go check out his channel, because there's a lot of cool import stuff there. And since he's going to Japan, it'll obviously make it a lot easier for him to make his videos, but he'll probably be gone for at least a couple of months. And hopefully, he has a quick move and he can be back on YouTube soon. But talking about him, that leads us to another video that he's related to. And it is from the Game Machine. I got a Japanese PS2, son, because Jimmy Hapa actually is the one who got him the Japanese PlayStation 2. Now, the cool thing about this video, besides the games he got and, of course, the Japanese PlayStation 2, is it is interlaced with actual old, Japanese PS2 commercials. So if you like any of that stuff, you definitely might want to check out his channel or his video. And I say definitely way too much. Anyway, the next video is from Dancentral. It is a new series on his channel called The CDI Experience #1, where obviously he's talking about CDI games. And the first one is Zelda, the Wand of Gamelon with Shock Z16. I don't know why I always not want to say the Z, but I do. Shock Z16. And they're playing the game and talking about the game. If you've never seen the Zelda game on the CDI, it's not the greatest Zelda game by any stretch of the imagination, but if you've never seen it, definitely go check it out. And our next video is from Xander Skullion, CASTLEVANIA Chronicles Review. Now, when I think of Castlevania on the PlayStation 1, of course, I think of Symphony of the Night, which I do own on the PlayStation 1. But a game I don't own or completely forgot about was Castlevania Chronicles. It's a game that I've completely overlooked, even though it's basically more or less kind of a remake of Castlevania. It's got kind of like the original one, and then it's got the remade one, which is easier than the first one on the disc. And it's one that I completely forgot existed out there as a Castlevania fan, and it's one I will really need to get. But if you've never seen the game, definitely go check out his review. He does a really good job explaining the differences in the two different game modes, and obviously the history of it and everything else like that. So our next one is from Spritesnbytes. It is Show and Tell the Update. Now, what's interesting about this video is he loves the Top 3 Tuesday videos that Ed T1138 did. And he wants to take that over. And so he wants to kind of have the 3 Tuesdays be kind of show and tell in a way. And so he made this video saying that he wants to do it, and that what he's going to do for this is he's going to pick a topic for Top 3 Tuesdays, which comes out every Tuesday, and that you'll have 2 weeks to leave a response, and then some way he'll figure out what's the, was voted the best one in some way, somehow the best one, and then that person will be able to make a video promoting their channel, and then they'll be the ones saying what the next topic is for the Top 3 Tuesdays. So if you love Top 3 Tuesdays, or just a way to make a response to something and interact with the community, this is definitely a way to do that. And ironically, talking about Ed T1138, he did a video of how to build classic video game collection on the cheap. Now this is supposed to be a series, him kind of being like a video, archaeologist in a sense. Goes to somebody's place, looks at their collection, and sees, what they have, worth the value and stuff. It's a short video, but again, cool, because the person does have some really cool video games. Definitely go check it out. Now, as I turn to the next page with all that noise, our next video is from HappyConsoleGamer, My Game Room Tour 2015. Now, a lot of people perceive how big your game room is based on your video size, right? So based on the size, like right here, you may think maybe my game is really big or really small, even though there's really not one made except for what's behind me. What behind me is technically all that exists of a game room right now in this basement. Even though this basement is decent size, that's all that exists. Like HappyConsoleGamer, you look at his, when he records a video and you think he must have a big game room, when it's actually just the opposite. His game room actually isn't that big. At least not as big as you perceive it to be. In this video, he does show you the entire game room. And there's a lot of cool games, a lot of cool stuff in there. And also, explains to you the table, which you can see the table, he's recorded on, which is actually really short, and all the stuff that's set up in the room for videos. But you also find out that his game room is not necessarily organized. And what I mean by organized is, for example, all of his NES games aren't exactly in one spot. Like, all of his games are in different locations all over the game room. But he's got a lot of cool stuff. And if you've never seen his game room and definitely want to check it out, definitely go check out the video. I think we do sometimes perceive things differently in videos than our reality. But that's just seeing what you see, and like sometimes you think differently just because, that's just what the video shows you. There's no other way to say it. If I keep talking, it's just going to sound worse anyway. Anyway, our next one is from Lactivius Prime, aka Mark Vagier. My thoughts on backwards compatibility in games and media, a waffle on camera. So, it's funny about backwards compatibility with me, because when PlayStation 2 came around, right, if it did not have PlayStation 1 backward compatibility, I was not going to buy that system. Everybody I knew bought a PlayStation 2 because it had backwards compatibility, and because they were looking forward to the PlayStation 2 games, but they want to continue to play their PlayStation 1 games. But today, I think every system that comes out should be compatible to last generation. The Wii is compatible. The Wii U is compatible to the Wii. But this generation, the Xbox One finally announced some backward compatibility to 360. Again, a very limited amount. But I think every system should be backward compatible to the last generation, because one, it gives you an instant library to play when you first buy the system while you're waiting for the games that you want to play. I think that is kind of lost on video game makers, but at the same time, they are actually fighting third-party developers because they want you to rebuy the games again. They want to put it on the eShop and stuff and make you buy it again, or HD remakes. So on their side, they don't want you to have backward compatibility. So it'll be an interesting situation to see how this fight for backward compatibility goes in the future. Just like I think region locking should be gone. It's a thing of the past. But I think every system should have backward compatibility. And it does influence my decision. If both systems had the same games, I would pick the one with backward compatibility over the other one. But first-party titles do make a difference. Anyway, our next video to talk about is another new series, and it is on Crow. Used to be 111, but says Crow ! Batman Arkham City, done with it, game fodder. So the point of his game fodder series is he's just going to record a video in any way he wants to in game fodder, unlike his other stuff, Crow Plays and stuff like that. And this time he talks about Batman Arkham City because he finished it and his thoughts on the game. So if you've never played the game or you want to hear someone's opinion on it or check out a new series, there you go. Our next one is from Allie-RX, and this is a series they brought back called Bootleg SH Part T. I wonder what that means. Anyway, Angry Birds for the Famicom. So someone took Angry Birds and actually made a bootleg version for the Famicom. Now, it is an amazing feat that they fit this game on the Famicom. By the way, is it graphically anywhere near obviously the mobile version of it? Absolutely not. But if you want to see what Angry Birds would look like if it came on the Famicom, definitely just go check out the video. I gotta stop saying definitely. And our last video of the day is from Re-Res. It is Dreamcast and Hi-Res Retro-Bit VGA box. So Retro-Bit made a VGA box for the Dreamcast to give people, to make the games look better than they normally would on S-Video, whatever. Not that Dreamcast games look bad on S-Video, but if your TV can handle VGA, you might want to look at this if you want to make the games look better when you play them on TV. Now again, this is a thing going on right now with old retro consoles, ways to make them look better. Obviously consoles made to be able to play the stuff on HD, but a lot of cases people don't want the original consoles, want to plan them, and this is a solution for people who may have VGA TV who want it to look better. And obviously, you'll be fine with this video, but if you check out this video, it does show the difference of what the VGA and the S video looks like, and of course the regular old composite. But definitely go check it out. Anyway, guys, that's everything for this week that I want to talk about. Next week, I'm gonna, at the very end of the video, I'll read the comments from, obviously the topic this week, and I'll do that every video after this. So, like always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will make another YouTube game community next week. Later.